The victory is not for the president alone. The victory is for the whole nation.
Declaration case against President Buhari.
I'm under tremendous pressure on it, but the last cabinet, which I had, most of them, the majority of them, I didn't know them.
New federal cabinet, President Buhari promises a very proactive executive council as he fits National Assembly leadership.
It is on this note, therefore, that I am declaring a 6-month amnesty period for irregular migrants.
Federal government inaugurates migrants' e-registration and passport application data processing centers in Abuja. Grants 6 months amnesty to irregular migrants to document their presence in the country. Plus, Kano State Police Command arrests suspected teenage kidnappers. News live in Abuja. I am Jomo Yusuf. Jennifer Igwe is joining me in Lagos and Asma'u Habiba Shagari is in Sokoto. Thanks for joining us. I am under tremendous pressure to constitute the new Executive Council of the Federation. These are words of President Muhammadu Buhari while hosting the leadership of the National Assembly to a special dinner. The president, however, says that, notwithstanding, he will not be rushed into appointing people that cannot deliver. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has the details.
Without doubt, one of the most talked about issues in Nigeria today is the awaited reconstitution of the Federal Executive Council. Nigerians are indeed eager to know those to be appointed as ministers and how soon. This special dinner with presiding and principal officers of both chambers of the National Assembly provided the opportunity for President Muhammadu Buhari to put the record straight.
I'm very much aware about it. I'm under tremendous pressure on it. But the last cabinet, which I had, most of them, the majority of them, I didn't know them. I had to accept the names and recommendation from the party and the other individuals. Now this time around, I'm going to be quite mean. Mean in the sense that I will pick people I personally know. Please, Senate President, bear with me. I'm on my last lap.
President Buhari described as pleasing the voting pattern of the National Assembly leadership, which he said not only showed maturity and patriotism, but also signaled to Nigerians that love for the nation supersedes party affiliations.
And it makes a lot of sense to cultivate good neighborhood, whether on individual or national level. I assure you, if Nigeria hasn't cultivated its neighborhood, the damage by Boko Haram would have been much worse than it is.
The president, who made a case for sustained collaboration and cooperation with the legislature for effective service delivery and good governance, however, urged the lawmakers to stop comparing Nigeria's democracy with that of the more developed countries in their debates, saying every country has its peculiarities and varied experiences. Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Speaker Femi Bajabiamila assured the president that they are set to work with him seamlessly towards addressing genuine public concerns and bequeathing worthy legacies for posterity.
All that is before us will be Nigeria and Nigerians. Therefore, it's something that we are committed to. And Mr. President has also assured us that he's ready to work with us, just like we are ready to work with him. So Nigerians should expect a relationship that will be cordial, a relationship that will be productive, a relationship that will provide opportunities for Nigerians to actualize their dreams.
Some of the lawmakers at the event described the engagement with the president as encouraging and reassuring.
For this to happen, we equally assured him that we are going to work with him, we are going to take the interests of this country far and over above any other interest we will have. And certainly it pleases both sides.
This country is bigger than any single individual, and that we will put all our hands on deck to ensure that we deliver on the dividend of democracy. The welfare of Nigerians does not know party, and as such we are going to look at issues based on bipartisan relationships.
This is like the beginning of a new dawn. And I think we are taking away, if nothing, at least the commitment of Mr. President to work with the National Assembly as an institution to deliver onto the promises we made during our campaigns. We will always be with him. We will always identify by the policies and programs of his administration so that Nigerians could see things being done differently.
The 9th National Assembly was inaugurated on the 11th of June this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila has urged the British government to assist Nigeria in repatriation of stolen funds stashed in their country by some Nigerians. The Speaker made the appeal while receiving the new British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nani reports that Deputy Speaker Idris Wasi also received a delegation from Plateau State Assembly.
Appreciating the mutual relationship and bilateral ties between Nigeria and the British government, especially in the areas of economic development, strengthening of democratic processes, northeast rehabilitation and welfare for the internally displaced persons, the Speaker requested more assistance in the country's anti-corruption fight. The British High Commissioner Katrina Lang is looking forward to more collaboration in parliamentary matters and to ease the process of acquiring traveling documents to the UK. Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker Idris Wase has called for more unity amongst Nigerians to overcome various challenges being faced by the country. He was addressing some Plateau State lawmakers who paid him courtesy visit.
We need one another. Yes. We need to come together closely to be able to tackle the menace that's bedeviling the entire country, be it insecurity, on the issue of our poverty, which is everywhere. It doesn't have face, it doesn't have tribe, it doesn't have religion. So you are welcome always, and I look forward to a better partnership, and all of us here.
We will always come here to seek your advice, to always work with you as one of the stakeholders from the states, to seek for your contributions and other things that will bring development to our dear states.
Both parties agreed to work together, especially on issues affecting the less privileged. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And from the judiciary, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has dismissed the suits challenging the eligibility of President Muhammadu Buhari to contest the 2019 presidential election. In a unanimous judgment, a three-man panel of justices affirmed that the appeal lacked merit. Dele Atumbi reports.
Kalu, Labaran Ismail and Ezi El Karus had approached the Federal High Court in Abuja in November 2018, challenging the educational qualification of President Muhammadu Buhari before the conduct of the 2019 presidential election. The plaintiffs alleged that President Buhari, as the candidate of the APC, did not attach the required certificates with his Form CF001 submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Since it is a pre-election matter, the plaintiffs had 14 days to institute their case in line with Section 285, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. This is to vest the court with the jurisdiction to entertain the matter. The trial court, in its judgment, dismissed the case for lack of jurisdiction, having instituted the matter out of time. This judgment was why the plaintiff appellant approached the appeal court. The appellant prayed the appeal court to set aside the verdict of the trial court. The three-man panel of justices led by Justice Atinuka Komalafe Wilson agreed with the trial court that the course of action was instituted out of time and thereby statute bar. Citing the decisions in Akeredolu versus Abraham and Chiku Jeku and Olaliri, Justice Mohammed Idris, who read the unanimous judgment, said since the course of action was instituted out of time, this action denied the court the jurisdiction to entertain the matter. The appellate court thereby dismissed the matter.
The victory is not for the president alone. The victory is for the whole nation. So we have to all celebrate it all.
So I'll confer with my clients who instructed me, and based on their instructions, we shall surely react. I can only say that looking at their faces, they are not happy, and I know they want to explore the law on appeal.
Form CF001 contains the resume of a contestant. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
The Presidential Election Petition Court has continued hearing on the petition of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar. This Friday, the petitioners called additional witnesses to prove their case. Dele Atumbi tells us more.
8 additional witnesses were called at the Friday's hearing of the matter where the PDP and its candidate are challenging the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari in the February 23 presidential election. The witnesses in their oral evidence were alleging vote buying, illegal thumb-printing of ballot papers, cancellation of results and transmission of results to INEC server during the presidential election. Chris Uche, SAN, led the PDP witnesses in evidence. During cross-examination, counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, Alex Izion, SAN, Latif Agbemi, SAN of APC, and Usman Ustaz, SAN counsel to INEC, put it across to one of the witnesses who claimed to have signed from EC 8C under duress, but did not include this claim in his statement on oath, which he had earlier adopted as his evidence in chief. One of the witnesses who claimed he received all from EC8Bs as the local government party agent contradicted himself in his oral evidence by claiming there was no election in 4 wards, thereby telling the court he received 9 from EC8Bs. Out of all the 8 witnesses, only one of them claimed he did not vote during the election, as the others told the court that they were properly accredited and voted in the election. One of the witnesses who claimed to have served as INEC's Assistant Presiding Officer 1 told the court that he transmitted result of his polling unit to the INEC server. When confronted with the INEC manual used for his training by the counsel to the respondent, the court was made to understand that the transmission of result fell outside the schedule of Assistant Presiding Officer 1 and resides in the schedule of the presiding officer. With the 8 witnesses called this Friday, the petitioners have so far called 36 witnesses. Counsel to the petitioners, Livy Usouku, SAN, informed the court that their witnesses from Safara State were allegedly attacked on their way to Abuja. This made the 5-man presidential election petition court, led by Justice Mohamed Gaba, to adjourn till Monday, 15th July 2019 for further hearing on this petition. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has struck out a case seeking to stop the federal government from making Justice Tanko Ibrahim Muhammad a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria on the grounds that the plaintiff lacks the local standing to institute the suit. The report.
A case filed by Malcolm Omirubo Foundation, a non-governmental organization, is seeking to stop the confirmation of Justice Tanko Muhammad as the Chief Justice of Nigeria on the grounds that the due process was not observed in the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen. Delivering the judgment, Justice Inyang Eko ruled that the NGO lacks the requisite local standing to bring the case and that it acted outside the purpose of its registration.
The court did not say whether the plaintiff rights are enforceable or not, or whether the defendants are wrong or right. We have applied for the certified true copies of the judgment, and God willing, we are appealing.
In another development, Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court has upheld the suspension of the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, who also doubles as the chairman of the party, and his deputy, Malcolm Fabi. Justice Eko restrained the two from parading themselves as officers of the party and held that by the provisions of the Constitution, AAC is a political party, and as such, the court cannot meddle into its affairs. But failure of the first and second defendants to enter their defense means that the claim by the plaintiff remains uncontroverted. The acting chairman of the party, Leonard Uzenwa, who dragged the suspended officers to court, described the judgment as a victory for democracy and urged party members to join hands and reform the party.
Away from the judiciary, irregular migrants in Nigeria have been granted a 6-month amnesty to document their presence in the country. This was announced by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, during the inauguration of the Migrants E-Registration Centers and the Passport Application Data Processing Center in Abuja. Victor Azu reports.
The introduction of the e-passport system by the Nigeria Immigration Service in January elicited excitement from Nigerians due to its enhanced security and ease of processing. Now it becomes even easier and faster with the inauguration of the Passport Application Data Processing Center, which speaks volumes of government's commitment to the ease of doing business. Rosemary Okoye, a retiree, walks into the center to renew her passport, like several others, unaware that she would be one of the test cases for the efficiency of this new system, with the capacity to treat no less than 250 cases daily. After about 1 hour, she takes delivery of her new passport with a 10-year validity.
I didn't see any touts anywhere, even at the car park. The processing is far, far better than what it used to be.
As with Rosemary, the Nigerian Immigration Service says henceforth, this will be the experience of passport seekers across the country, including regular migrants.
After you flag this registration center, it will be complied throughout the country. Migrants will be mandated to register in all immigration offices nationwide, provided they stay for a period exceeding 90 days.
To the glory of God and to the benefit of the migrants.
Acting on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation also inaugurates the Migrants E-Registration Center, which will collate and store data of non-Nigerians within the country to enhance internal security.
It is on this note, therefore, that I am declaring a 6-month amnesty period for irregular migrants already in the country to submit themselves to the Nigerian Immigration Service for the purpose of this registration, which will be carried out without any payment or penalties.
The SGF also took out time to see the ongoing construction of the Nigeria Immigration Technology Building, housing the Data and Command Center, from where data will be shared with all security agencies when completed. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Government continues to devise means of curbing farmers' herders' conflict. Details of these and more after the break. Don't go away.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach tens of millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Follow! Kitty. Oh, baby. He doesn't want overripe things. Dudu by nature. Black is beautiful. Oh, talk to the hand. The baby is black. Ask her. Uche, quickly send me the baby video.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, he's playing. Oh, my goodness. He's loving it. Oh, thank you. Welcome. Bye.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
Our country is filled with people with different skills. And like the game football, we all have a position to play. Some are in charge of protection. They keep the line safe from attackers. They are the defenders. to win, we must come together as one team. We must play as Nigeria united.
Major General Olumuyiwa Abisoye Foundation, in partnership with University of Abuja, requests the presence of the general public to a lecture on nation building or nation fragmentation with the theme Reflections of 20 Years of Post-Military Rule in Nigeria. Discussants: Professor Nuhu Yakub, OFR, Rear Admiral Itonu Hotonu, Lecturer Professor Ambassador Ibrahim Agbolagambari, CFR, Chairman of the occasion General Yakubu Gowon, GCFR, Chief Host Yahaya Bello, the Executive Governor, Kogi State. Special guests of honor: Professor Abdul Rashid Na'Allah, Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Major General David Jemibewon, Board of Trustees Chairman, and Professor Bath Oshenebo, Local Organizing Committee Chairman. Date: Saturday, 13th July 2019. Time: 12 noon. Venue: Samuel Ogbemudia Library Complex, University of Abuja. For inquiries, call 0802-310080 or 0808-678-0125.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
I was born and bred in Africa. I schooled in Africa, and I have seen firsthand the level of poverty in Africa. This is the reason why our family in 2010 created the Tony Elmelu Foundation to help young African men and women to realize their life aspirations. For the young Africans, I say the future of Africa is indeed in your hands. I look forward to welcoming our entrepreneurs in Abuja between the 26th and 27th of July this year for the annual Tony Elmelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Forum, the largest gathering of African entrepreneurs.
I can taste the real chicken. Real chicken.
Don't worry, Abba. It's not your chicken.
It's the Sedap Supreme Chicken Essence that gives it the supreme chicken taste. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
You are watching NTA Network News live in Abuja. The federal government is working with farmers and cattle breeders to find lasting solution to conflicts that is becoming a threat to peace and unity of the country. To this end, the government, in partnership with German government and the United Nations, is engaging both farmers and herders groups in dialogue for peaceful coexistence. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
These are representatives of farmers groups from 8 states that are prone to conflict. They are in Abuja for capacity building on conflict management towards finding the way out of the crisis that is becoming a threat not only to food security but also to the unity of the country. The farmers decried how some group of people, including bandits, are hiding under the farmers-herders conflict to commit crime.
And we have enjoined the herders to fish out of themselves those who cause problems. Let us be able to negotiate on that basis.
Andrew Kwasari represents the office of the Vice President at the meeting. He says farmers will benefit more under the National Livestock Transformation Program.
What we are training them to do is to build their capacity
in order to implement a program that we co-designed together with them.
They also signified their interest in adapting those more modern approaches if government and the private sector will back them.
Similar training has been organized for cattle breeders, where they pledge to embrace peace and work for the socio-economic development of the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has pledged to work closely with the Nigerian Governors Forum to move the oil sector forward. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Malam Mele Kolo-Kyari, said this when he received in audience members of the Governors Forum at the NNPC Towers, Abuja. Kyari stressed that the NNPC is ready to work with critical stakeholders for efficient exploration and exploitation of the nation's hydrocarbon resources for revenue generation.
What is obvious to Nigerians about NNPC, there are two things: fuel supply and absence of queues in the fuel stations. That's every Nigerian knows about this. And the second part of it, which is very critical, is how much money are we able to deliver from our transactions into the Federation account. These two elements are critical, and they are very important for the well-being of this country.
Governor of Ekiti State and Chairman of the Forum, Kayode Fayemi, congratulated the NNPC boss for his appointment by President Muhammadu Buhari, urging him to build on the legacy of transparency and accountability for the growth of the extractive industry.
We would confront you, we will challenge you, we will demand of you greater resources for the subnationals, but what you can always be sure of is that we will stand by and with you in the job the country has given you in order to take Nigeria to greater heights.
The first Nigerian Army aviation hangar has been inaugurated in Jaji Cantonment, Kaduna, to support its drive towards its aviation wing. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa covered the event performed by the Chief of Air Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Burati.
Air assets are a critical component of a modern warfare due to its effectiveness in intelligence surveillance reconnaissance, ISR, firepower, and speed in deployment of troops during ground operations. This aircraft hangar, runway, and 10 trained pilots part of efforts to develop the Nigerian Army aviation.
Nigerian Army aviation has been captured in the Nigerian Army Order of Battle 2016. We are yet to have the platforms, but we continue to pursue through the appropriate superior authority for us to see to the realization of this dream.
Similarly, a light aircraft base and a runway is to be constructed in Bama, Borno State to support the ongoing counter-insurgency operations in the northeast.
The contract has been awarded already. The funding already received.
This development is expected to support the Nigerian Army's desire to effectively fight on sea, air, in addition to its infantry operations across the country. From Jaji Cantonment in Kaduna, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Railway board members inspect Lagos-Ibadan project. Jennifer has details of these and more in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jumai, and welcome to Lagos. Now, the Chairman Board of Directors, Nigerian Railway Corporation, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, says the corporation has invested massively in the rail system such that the organization can now hold board meetings, conferences, and other activities aboard a train. He disclosed this when he unveiled the new conference coach, where the 24 newly inaugurated board members held their meeting. Tunde Saiki has details.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation, in preparation for the commencement of commercial operations on the 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Rail project, ordered rolling stock of 30 engines, 63 coaches, and 200 wagons, a conference coach, including a super sleeper with a spa and other facilities to make for a conducive train ride for Nigerians. The chairman, board of directors, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, said since one of the tracks had been constructed up to kilometer 154, what remains are the two branched lines, one into the workyard and the other that will connect the Ibadan dry port.
It's a very good progress for us. It's a landmark progress. That means that we cannot beat our chest and say that the Lagos-Ibadan aspect of the track lane is completed.
The managing director, Fidet Ohiria, said the corporation is working to ensure a smooth takeoff of commercial activities on the rail line within the next few months. He said passengers will be able to board the train from Agege in Lagos to Ibadan in Oyo State for just 1 hour.
You see that the journey time has reduced from last time to this time. We've almost gained 100% time difference. And that is as a result of more job has been done on the track, more balancing. As you do more, the speed will increase.
The project, when completed, will have 10 train stations from the Apapa port to the Ibadan dry port, from where the project continues up to Kano. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, is suggesting a common front in addressing challenges in the telecom industry. Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Professor Umar Danbata, in a message to the 2019 Telecom Executives and Regular Forum in Lagos, identified critical areas hindering sustained development in the industry. Paul Omukago has the details.
Changes in telecommunications have over time redefined activities in the industry. From the initial stage of voice-dominated to data-dominated technologies, the industry has continued to expand with high-level competition. This has not only impacted socio-economic growth, but development of infrastructure. NCC boss, represented by Director, Policy Competition and Economic Analysis, identified challenges of continuous influx of clone and fake ICT equipment.
The Commission has played a key role in developing the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy document that led to the establishment of the Nigerian Computer Energy Response Team. The NG serves as the single national point of contact for international coordination of cybersecurity incidents in Nigeria.
The NCC equally tasked participants at another forum on Nigeria internet governance to pool resources together in sanitizing the internet space as the nation moves towards a digitally driven economy.
The Commission has instituted the corporate, what you might call the Code of Industry Practice, which actually was envisaged to define how we behave in the cyberspace.
All these people that are offering free this, free that, they harvest our data and they sell it and make money. So we should also come up with policies that will also protect, not only protecting, let our youth develop platforms.
We need to step up from what we're doing and create an enabling environment for Nigeria to be great and to be greater than what we are today.
Panel discussions and workshops focus on our best to tackle the challenges. In Lagos, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
Thank you, Paul. And now for business news, and Abolade Salami is on standby. Abolade.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening and welcome to the business news segment. As Nigeria continues to expand trade, raise revenues and diversify the economy, the federal government and Afri-Japan-Africasa International Corporation have signed an agreement for the establishment of the Africa-Africasa Development Agency. This is aimed at strengthening trade and bilateral relationship between two countries as well as other Asian countries. Since its inception in 2009, the headquarters of the agency had been in Abuja, Ivory Coast, but this is to relocate to Nigeria.
Japan, Asia is a development agency specifically established through collaboration of various Asian and Pacific countries made up of Japan, China, South Korea, India, Malaysia, among others, to contribute towards the development of Africa.
When China will wake up, the world will tremble. But here and now, I do declare and attest on this solemn day that when Nigeria will wake up, the world will run to Africa.
Key players say when fully established, the headquarters will help ensure food security, build infrastructure, and introduce new food production technology industries, among others. And now let's cross over to the fixed income market. Activities in the Treasury bill secondary market were similarly bullish as yields declined in the week, with average yields across instruments settled at 11%, representing an 82 basis points week on week. However, players in the Treasury bill market are expecting open market operation maturities totaling 148.73 billion naira to hit the system next week. And on to equities market. The market ended the week in the red, depreciating by 0.51%, as the Offshore Index dipped by 2.41% week on week. Here are the details.
Equities market sustained its bearish run, depreciating by 0.51%, with an all-share index of 28,566.79 basis points. Volume of shares traded were 100 million. Valued at 1.45 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 2,707 deals and a market capitalization of 13.9 trillion naira. CCNN, UACN, and Access closed in the green territory, while Nestle, Nigerian Breweries, and MTN Nigeria dropped in figures.
On business news, the news continues after this short commercial break. Please stay with us.
Now me I go ask and say, why all of us go pay 100,000 naira? Say, say your husband, he want do 70th birthday. She now all of us marry them together. Hey, when her mama die, she collects money. Her papa die, she collects money. Her mama die, she collects. You remember when she talked, say she wanted her mama dead body. Mama, you too tall. Now you be glad when they dash me credit anyhow. Imagine, 40-year-old dead body. Why you they laugh now? Now try to bring your money. Mama, no laugh. Not be you, Jerry. Now some apropos customer there when they know they mind their own business. Yo, I never even begin to give you her gist.
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
Make I sell my market finish first, eh? I will call you back. Oh.
Glow Unlimited.
Congratulations to legal icon, Honorable Justice Aloy Nwankwo CON. Inaugurated as a judge on the 8th of November 1995, appointed as an acting chief judge in April 2003, and ultimately elevated to the position of a substantive chief judge of Ebonyi State on 26 January 2005, the occasion of your retirement on Friday the 12th of July 2019 calls for 2 profound emotions, celebratory and reflective. As we reflect on your distinguished service to the legal profession and to humanity, we must give glory to God who bestowed his benevolence and grace upon you and paved the path of your success through which you ascended to the summit of your legal career in our beloved state. We celebrate you for your outstanding contributions to our society and to the body of jurisprudence, which will cement your place in legal and secular history in the fullness of time. May the years ahead bring you comfort, further intellectual curiosity, and tireless contributions to the advancement of our state and our nation. Engineer Dr. David Nwezumaye, Governor of Ebonyi State.
Our country is filled with people with different skills. And like the game football, we all have a position to play. And the strikers, they are the go-getters. They break barriers and steal the show. To win, we must come together as one team. We must play as Nigeria united.
Preparing for that big day can be somewhat stressful. Which can lead to headaches and pain. So treat headaches and pain fast with Nurofen Express. Nurofen Express liquid capsules, when taken, starts to dissolve in 1 minute, then goes to the source of pain fast, providing quick and effective relief. Nurofen Express works at the source of pain fast.
Back then, when our baby gets a fever and starts running a temperature, our whole world turns upside down. Many methods we tried didn't work. We tried Nurofen for children. That's when we found relief. Nurofen starts to work in just 15 minutes and provides up to 8 hours of pain and fever relief. Nurofen for children, for fast and effective relief you can trust.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hot Sports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Nigeria's premier sports production and marketing group, Hot Sports, partners with the biggest, the largest and the #1 television network in Africa, the NTA, to give Nigerians a memorable viewing experience. Boost fan support for the Super Eagles to glory in Egypt. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Thanks for staying. And Sokoto is our next stop as Asamao is standing by with more reports.
Thank you, Jumai. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. For Nigeria to succeed in its fight against corruption, public and civil servants should be provided with living wages and basic means of livelihood to avoid temptations, and advanced technologies be used to deter corrupt behaviors. This is the submission of speakers at the African Anti-Corruption Lecture organized by Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in its Sokoto office. Muhammad Nasir completes the story.
Corruption and abuse of public office for private gain, a multidimensional bottleneck, remains one of the top challenges retarding development in most developing countries. The pervasiveness of corruption in Africa informed the decision of African Union to declare a day annually as African Anti-Corruption Day to raise awareness on corruption and how to fight it. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, says it is determined to ensure effective utilization of budgetary allocations for social welfare and human development and to win the crusade against corruption. As corruption continues to be disastrous to economy and human development, in a paper titled Negative Effect of Corruption, Evidence from Theoretical and Empirical Literature, Professor Tukur Garba stressed the need for African countries to take a cue from Singapore, which fought corruption holistically.
Any honest leader that wants to get rid of this corruption, you see a lot of sabotage from different angles.
To further raise awareness, a rally around some major streets in Sokoto metropolis on corruption and its negative effect was held. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. He's back to Juma in Abuja for more on network news. Good evening.
Thank you, Asma'u. Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai has inaugurated the newly appointed members of the State Executive Council, which are resolved to place the state on the path of sustainable development. Mohammed Umar Anjigi has the report.
14 newly appointed commissioners in Kaduna State taking their oath of office and allegiance. A ceremony which brings to the fore the administration's renewed zeal to drive its policies and programs. Critical areas such as provision of low-income houses, improvement in access to education and healthcare delivery, empowerment of women and the vulnerable, job creation as well as business promotion are to be accorded priority.
We shall be recruiting more teachers, thousands of health workers, administrative officers and other professionals into the public service. And public service jobs in Kaduna State will be available to every Nigerian citizen, but only on merit, not ethnicity, religion, or as a result of cronyism.
The governor said the commissioners have been carefully selected and must be prepared to give the best to the state. In Kaduna, Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Boboye Oyoyemi says Nigeria has recorded remarkable progress in road safety, administration and management, leading to decline in fatality. He was speaking at a sensitization workshop held at the University of Ibadan in collaboration with University of Wolverhampton, United Kingdom. Funke Ibidamiton was there and brings the details.
Africa is set to record the highest road traffic death index of 26.6 deaths per 100,000 population. A case in study in Nigeria is the Ogunbiyi family that lost the breadwinner in a road crash, leaving a young widow to cater for 4 young children.
I have with me here 32-year-old Deborah Oguniyi. So I will just go, but my husband had an accident somewhere in Idowa Road in Ijebode.
I was in my office over there when I was called that my brother had an accident, and within a jiffy, I was told that he has died.
Efforts to change this narrative through various strategic plans is therefore the challenge before the Federal Road Safety Corps.
We are among the first 3 leading countries in Africa, and we must appreciate the effort of Mr. President in terms of funding and capacity building. Whatever we have achieved, the government has contributed immensely.
Stakeholders could not agree less, calling for implementation of Target 3.6 of the Millennium Development Goal to halve the number of global deaths and injuries from road traffic accidents by the year 2020. The workshop was attended by stakeholders from across the divides. From Ibadan, Funke Bidamiton, NTA News.
Yobe State government has signified its commitment to improving maternal, newborn and child health. The state government has commenced the upgrading of 3 primary health centers in each local government area under the Saving 1 Million Lives program. Governor Maimala Buni said this in a message to an implementation strategy meeting with officials of the program in Abuja. Olabode Ariwa reports.
Saving 1 million lives for results is an elaborate health initiative that is expanding access to essential healthcare services for women and children. The program rests on 6 pillars: immunization, malaria control, nutrition, prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, use of technology, and delivery of essential medicines. This meeting between the Yobe State government and officials of the Federal Ministry of Health is an indication of Yobe's readiness to fully implement the program by utilizing the $29.8 million grant of the Federal Ministry of Health for the states.
Another 33 PHC will be rehabilitated and equipped by the multi-crisis response plan, another World Bank project, while the state government and other partners will complete the remaining 94 primary care centers in line with the minimum standards of the primary care centers in Nigeria.
The Federal Ministry, which is coordinating the program, wants other states in Nigeria to match words with action by presenting realizable work plans.
2018, we conducted another survey. And in 2018, your state actually is one of the states that, from the beginning, they took this program very seriously.
A joint committee that would implement the training modules for healthcare providers was established at the meeting. Olabodarewa, NTA News.
3 suspected kidnappers between the ages of 18 and 19 are in police custody in Kano for alleged kidnap and killing their 5-year-old victim. The incident occurred in Kumbantso local government area, which left many residents in suspense following the discovery of the victim's decomposing body buried in a shallow grave. Yahana Hassan Barrow has the details.
3 suspected kidnappers, Ibrahim Ahmad, Abdul Majid Muhammad and Musa Sanusi,
were alleged to kidnap 5-year-old Ado Ahmad at Darmanawa quarters. Ibrahim Ahmad is related to the victim, connived with his friends in abducting the deceased and demanded for 10 million naira as ransom.
Since last 4 months ago, we are planning of this kidnapping that we said that we're gonna do, and this the one that is on my back, where Kaptani, and he is the one who is ruling us and showing us how to do this and how to do that.
However, failure to meet their demand, they killed the deceased and buried his remains in a shallow grave. It took the intervention of Operation Pop Ada to arrest the suspected kidnappers at Sheka quarters. Kano State Police Commissioner Ahmad Ilyasu says the command will not relent in its efforts to rid the state of criminal elements.
Highest stage of man inhumanity to man. This bestialism, how man can descend to the state of animal.
Father of the deceased could not hold back his tears. Some residents in the area said they were shocked over the incident. In Kano, Yohannes Hassanbaro, NTA News.
Let's now join Chineye in Enugu for more reports tonight.
Thank you, Jumei. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. Another batch of 60 youths have acquired skills and empowered for self-sustenance. The training, which is powered by the presidency and some national legislators from the state, is being executed by the Scientific Equipment Development Institute, SEDI, Enugu. Beauty Hobame reports.
The 60 beneficiaries were exposed to a 1 month training.
After now, I can call assistant, I can employ a labor.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. I also want to thank the federal government for this wonderful opportunity.
Just a few months back, they were like an average graduate and artisan on the street, searching for jobs and means of livelihood. Today, courtesy of the federal government and SEDI, their lives have changed. SEDI, as part of its mandate, has continued to train youth from across the country with practical skills and experience to bridge the gap between theories being taught in tertiary institutions and the reality of life.
We have to thank the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of this Federal Republic of Nigeria who made this program possible.
The MD CEO, who was given another 4 years tenure, plans to consolidate on his achievements so far.
If you go to our workshops, most of the machines are obsolete. I intend to replace them with modern equipment within these 4 years.
Starter packs and certificates were presented to the trainees. This is the 4th batch of training since the inception of the year, with over 200 youths benefiting. In Enugu, Beauty Robame, NTA News.
And that is our contribution from Enugu. Network News continues after this break. Please stay with us.
I can taste the real chicken. Real chicken.
Don't worry, Abba. It's not your chicken.
It's the Sadap Supreme Chicken Essence that gives it the supreme chicken taste. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
Thanks for staying. President Muhammadu Buhari sends warm felicitation to Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka on his 85th birthday, rejoicing with the literary icon from being one of the country's greatest pride and a universal brand. The president joins family and friends of the cerebral academic in celebrating the many years of laudable achievements, recognitions, awards and consistency, which he said have culminated in pride to Nigerians, Africans and the black race. In a statement by the Special Assistant to the Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, the President salutes Professor Soyinka for his intellectual momentum, interventions on state issues and polity through articles and comments, penchant for justice and persistence in holding leaders accountable. He congratulates the literary giant for projecting Nigerian and African values to the world, wishing him more years of health, wisdom and service to the nation and humanity. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the extension of office of the Comptroller General Nigerian Prison Service, Jafaru Ahmed, by 1 calendar year. A statement by the Director Press Minister of Interior, Mohammed Manga, notes that the CG's extension came due to his track record of innovative reforms in the prison service. Also for the ongoing programs in human rights compliance, healthcare, agriculture and education for the inmates. The extension takes effect from July 21st, 2019. Super Falcons improving ranking, and in Abuja, basketball stakeholders are meeting. Ayodeji Makinde has details on Sports Update.